term sons of God in most other places doesn't refer to people. It almost always only refers to angelic beings. Right? This theory, it doesn't explain the Nephilim that are mentioned in verse 4. Right? How did believers marrying unbelievers create the Nephilim? Right? Unbelievers and believers have kids all the time today, and we don't see supernatural giants popping out of that union. Also, intermarriage, believers marrying unbelievers, seems like a fairly mild sin for the Lord to say that their every intention was on evil, as we're going to see in a couple of verses. It seems like a fairly mild sin for which to destroy hundreds of millions of people for, doesn't it? This Sethite view, this view that the sons of God were the children of Seth, it just doesn't work, really. I mean, that's the best way to say it. I mean, there's reasons why it could be true, but it doesn't really hold water. And as we saw last week, and as guys like Chuck Missler, who is probably one of the most brilliant theologians of our time, as he pointed out, and as we saw last week, he believes that Cain repented of his sins. And so that kind of throws a wrench in this whole thing. Also, he was talking about this, and I actually just learned this today. There's indication in the grammar that Seth's son Enoch, when it says that he called out to God in those days, that's not what it means. That he was calling out to the gods. That he turned from the true God and fell into idolatry. So there's evidence that Cain became a believer and that Seth's line became unbelievers. So this whole theory of the godly line of Seth and the ungodly line of Cain, it kind of falls apart a little bit. Seth's line wasn't necessarily good, and Cain's line wasn't necessarily bad. Right? This theory also struggles to explain why the text uses this term, sons of God, which elsewhere refers to angels. And why was the result of this union Nephilim and such extreme corruption?